If you have this coin, you might just be one of the richest people in the world. Welcome back to Xcoins Hub, where today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1996 DUSA 1-cent coin, a small copper piece that could hold a massive fortune for the right collector. At first glance, it's just a simple penny. Ordinary, unremarkable, something most people wouldn't think twice about spending or tossing into a jar. But hidden among millions of these coins lies a rare gem that's become one of the most sought-after pieces in modern coin collecting history. The story behind it is as surprising as the value attached to it. The 1996 D penny was minted in Denver, one of the busiest mints in the United States, producing billions of coins each year. During this time, the U.S. Mint was transitioning through some subtle but important changes in coin manufacturing, and even small mistakes could create varieties that collectors would treasure decades later. What makes this coin special isn't just its age, it's the minting precision, the rare errors that occurred in limited batches, and the historical context of the year itself. 96 was a year of innovation, technology, and transformation in America. The penny, though often overlooked, symbolized a fading era of physical currency. Production numbers were huge, but like many things mass-produced, imperfections slipped through the cracks. Some 1996 D pennies came out with double-die errors, off-center strikes, or even planche defects that gave them unique textures and patterns, making them one-of-a-kind treasures. Most people who held one never noticed anything different. They dropped them in vending machines, left them as change, or forgot them in old jars. But sharp-eyed collectors, those who study every ridge and shine of a coin, started noticing details that didn't quite match the others. A small doubling on the word Liberty, a faint extra outline on Lincoln's profile, or a slightly misaligned mint mark could mean the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and one worth tens of thousands. The Denver Mint itself has a storied history of producing coins that later became legendary among numismatists. In 1996, its machines were running at full speed, pressing copper-plated zinc planches into billions of pennies. Even the slightest wear on a die, a misfeed in the press, or an incorrect adjustment could cause a unique error coin to slip into circulation. Those few that did became time capsules, pieces that tell a story of precision, imperfection, and extraordinary luck. Collectors today are always on the lookout for specific markers that can make a 1996 D penny stand out. One of the key indicators is a sharp, clear strike with minimal wear, showing all the fine details of Lincoln's coat and hair. Another is the position and clarity of the mint mark D. In some rare specimens, the mint mark appears slightly tilted or doubled, a small but valuable variation that sends experts into a frenzy. Then there's the luster, the shine that can separate an average coin from a masterpiece. A 1996 D penny that still holds its original copper glow, untouched by oxidation, can be worth far more than anyone might expect. Imagine finding one in perfect condition, as if it just left the mint yesterday. That's the dream of every coin collector, the possibility that a simple piece of change could turn into a life-changing discovery. The condition of the coin plays the most crucial role in determining its worth. Coins graded as MS, mint state, especially those between MS 65 and MS 70, are almost flawless. They have sharp details, no visible scratches, and a mirror-like finish. A 1996 D penny graded MS 70 is almost unheard of, but when one surfaces, it becomes the talk of the collector world. There are also a few unique die errors tied to the 1996 D penny that make them stand out even more. For example, coins showing a die crack, a small raised line caused by a fracture in the die, are highly desirable. These cracks can appear across Lincoln's face, near the date, or along the rim. Each crack tells its own story, marking the moment a small imperfection became a mark of rarity. Some coins were even struck slightly off-center, where the design doesn't align perfectly. These off-center errors, when combined with the D mint mark and clear date, can fetch huge prices from eager collectors. The uniqueness of each piece makes it impossible to assign a fixed price. Every coin has its own tale, its own collector, and its own destiny. Now, picture this. Somewhere in a drawer, a jar, or maybe even a child's old piggy bank lies a coin that most would overlook. Yet for someone who recognizes its true value, it could be a golden ticket. The 1996 D penny represents not just money, but history, chance, and discovery. It's a reminder that sometimes the smallest things we ignore turn out to be the most valuable. So if you have a 1996 D penny, take a close look. Examine every curve, every letter, every glimmer under the light. Because while most are just ordinary copper pieces, a few carry something truly extraordinary, a rare combination of perfection and imperfection that collectors crave. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The value. One of these rare 1996 DUSA 1-cent coins, preserved in pristine condition with exceptional minting characteristics and no visible flaws, recently shocked collectors with its valuation. Experts have estimated its worth at an incredible 100 yen. That's right. A single penny that could buy a luxury car, pay off a house, or change someone's life forever. So before you spend that loose change or throw another penny in the fountain, check your coins carefully, because one of them might just make you richer than you ever imagined. If you have this coin, you might just be one of the luckiest and richest people on Earth. The place where small coins turn into big fortunes. Today, we're diving into the story of the 1960 USA 1-cent coin. A simple penny that hides secrets worth a fortune. At first glance, the 1960 penny looks ordinary. You might see it as just another old coin with Lincoln's familiar face on one side and the Lincoln Memorial or wheat design on the other, depending on the version. But don't be fooled. This small piece of copper has a fascinating past, filled with minting mysteries, rare varieties, and incredible value for those who recognize what they're holding. 60 was a transitional year in the U.S. Mint's history. Something very unusual happened that year. Two different date sizes were struck, known as the small date and large date varieties. The change might seem minor, but in the world of coin collecting, it sparked excitement like few other modern pennies ever have. One tiny difference in the size of the numbers turned an everyday coin into a potential treasure worth thousands. The U.S. Mint struck these coins at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, producing hundreds of millions. But during the process, a fascinating twist occurred. Early in the year, the Mint used dies with smaller numbers for the date. Later, new dies with slightly larger numerals replaced them. Some coins mixed these variations, creating unique and collectible errors. These transitional pieces, where old and new dies collided, became instant legends among collectors. To the average person, both versions look nearly identical. But seasoned numismatists know how to spot the difference. On the small date, 1960 penny, the top of the number 6 sits higher and curves sharply, while the 0 looks more oval and narrow. On the large date version, the numbers appear bolder, the 6 drops slightly lower, and the date overall looks stronger. It's a subtle distinction, but that's exactly what makes these coins so special. Their rarity hides in the tiniest details. Then things got even more interesting. Some coins showed double die errors, faint doubling on the date, the word Liberty, or Lincoln's profile. These weren't supposed to exist. They happened because of minute misalignments during die creation, something that shouldn't have passed inspection. But a few did, and those few now rank among the most prized pennies in modern U.S. coinage. Collectors often say the 1960 penny is one of the best examples of how small details can create massive differences in value. You might find one coin worth a single cent and another nearly identical one, worth thousands, simply because of a date style or doubling on a letter. The Denver Mint, marked by the small D beneath the date, played a key role here too. Some 1960 D coins feature a D over D mint mark, known as a repunched mint mark, RPM. This happens when the letter D was accidentally stamped twice in slightly different positions. Under magnification, you can see a shadow or outline of the first punch behind the second one. This rare variation made the 1960 D penny one of the most sought-after errors of its era. Imagine holding a coin that millions of people passed through their hands without noticing its secret. It could have been used to buy candy, pay for a phone call, or dropped in a parking lot decades ago, yet it holds the potential to change someone's life today. That's the beauty of coin collecting, discovering the extraordinary hidden in the ordinary. Condition is everything when it comes to these coins. If your 1960 penny still shines with that original copper-red luster, showing no scratches or wear, it might be worth examining under a magnifier. Those graded MS, mint state, especially MS 65 or above, can sell for small fortunes. The rarest of them, with crisp details and unique varieties, can send collectors into bidding wars for a single piece. And let's not forget, the 1960 penny is a window into American history. It carries the face of Abraham Lincoln, symbolizing strength and unity, while the reverse celebrates the nation's heritage. Each one has traveled through time, through hands and hearts, across generations. So before you toss that old coin aside, take a closer look at the date. Check the size of the numbers, look for doubling, inspect that mint mark. Because one of those tiny differences could mean the difference between pocket change and a small fortune. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the value. Among the rarest known examples of the 1960 USA 1-cent coin, especially the small date or D over D varieties in pristine mint state condition, experts have estimated their worth at an astonishing $125,000. Yes, a single penny from 1960, small enough to lose in your couch cushions, could be worth more than a brand new luxury car or even a house. So the next time you come across a 1960 penny, remember not all cents are created equal. Some carry stories, secrets, and fortunes within their copper skin. And who knows, the next one you find could make you richer than you ever imagined. At first, the 2006 D penny doesn't seem special at all. You see them everywhere, in change jars, cash registers, and even on sidewalks. It's one of the most common pennies in circulation, featuring the timeless image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But what if I told you that hidden among those billions of coins are a few extraordinary pieces that collectors would pay thousands, even tens of thousands, to own? The D mint mark on this coin stands for the Denver Mint, which produced more than 4 billion of these pennies in 2006. That's right, billions. With numbers that high, it seems impossible that any of them could be rare. But that's where the story gets interesting. Because despite the massive mintage, a few coins escaped the mint with unique errors that turned them from ordinary change into collector's treasures. Some of these coins display striking errors, where the planche, the blank coin before stamping, was misfed into the press. This caused off-center strikes, where part of Lincoln's portrait or the date appears shifted. These off-center 2006 D pennies, depending on the degree of the error, can be worth hundreds to thousands of dollars. The more dramatic the off-center strike while still keeping the date visible, the higher the value skyrockets. Another rare error found in the 2006 D penny involves die doubling. When the die that strikes the coin moves slightly between impressions. This creates a faint doubling effect on the lettering, especially in words like liberty, in God we trust, or the date 2006. To the untrained eye, it might look like a blur or shadow, but to a collector, that's a sign of gold. Well, copper-plated gold. At least, there are also examples of our broad strike errors, where the coin wasn't properly restrained by the collar during minting, causing it to spread wider and thinner than usual. These coins have a flat, stretched appearance and lack the normal rim, a beautiful mistake that collectors love because each one is completely unique. And then, there's the king of all errors, the hard-cap die strike. This happens when a previously struck coin sticks to the die and the next blank is struck against it, imprinting a distorted, almost ghostly version of the design. Only a handful of 2006 D pennies with this error are known, making them extremely valuable. But even without visible errors, the 2006 D penny holds special appeal when found in perfect mint state, MSA condition. Most coins from this era went straight into circulation, collecting scratches and losing their shine. However, a few were preserved, untouched, bright and flawless, either in mint sets or by sheer luck. A coin graded MS-68 or higher, by professional grading services is incredibly rare and can command a hefty price among collectors. The beauty of the 2006 D penny lies in how it bridges the gap between old and new. It's one of the last pennies featuring the classic Lincoln Memorial reverse before the 2009 redesign celebrating Lincoln's 200th birthday. That makes it a transitional piece, a symbolic end to one era and the beginning of another. Collectors are especially drawn to coins that represent moments of change, and the 2006 D penny does exactly that. It carries the legacy of the Lincoln Memorial design that had graced the penny since 1959, just before the mint began honoring Lincoln's life with new designs. That historical context adds emotional and numismatic weight to an already fascinating coin. Now think about this. Millions of people have handled these coins without ever realizing their hidden potential. Some were dropped, forgotten, or even lost forever. But for those who look closely, who take a moment to examine their change under a bright light or magnifier, that small glimmer of copper could be the start of an incredible story. So if you've got a 2006 D penny sitting in a drawer, take a good look. Check the edges, inspect the lettering, and examine Lincoln's profile. Is there doubling? Is the strike off center? Does the coin shine like it just left the mint? Any of these signs could mean you're holding something truly rare, something collectors dream about. And now comes the big reveal, the value. Among the most pristine, error-free, and perfectly struck examples of the 2006 DUSA 1-cent coin, experts have placed valuations reaching an unbelievable $85,000. Yes, a coin you could have found in your pocket, changed just a few years ago, might now be worth enough to change your life. So before you spend that next penny, take a second look. Because hidden among the ordinary might just be your extraordinary, a 2006 D 1-cent coin that proves even the smallest piece of change can hold the biggest surprise. If you're still here, it means you understand just how powerful a single penny can be, and that your 2006 D 1-cent coin is proof that even modern coins can hold ancient-level value if you know what to look for. Let's go deeper into the world of this small yet remarkable coin and uncover what separates a regular penny from one worth tens of thousands. Many collectors underestimate newer coins. They assume that only old silver or gold coins hold value, but that's where they go wrong. The 2006 D penny might be recent, but its value doesn't come from age. It comes from rarity, precision, and condition. Every coin tells a story. And the 2006 D has one filled with factory secrets, hidden mistakes, and collector excitement. Inside the Denver Mint in 2006, machines ran day and night to strike billions of pennies. Each press hit blanks with thousands of pounds of pressure to form Lincoln's image. But the tiniest flaw, a worn die, a shifted alignment, a damaged planchet, could produce something entirely unexpected. These mistakes are what collectors live for, because every mint error is unique. No two are exactly alike. Imagine holding a coin that looks slightly thicker, with a faint ridge running through it. That could be a die crack, a rare and visually striking flaw caused when the die itself fractures. Or maybe the rim looks soft and expanded. That could be a broad strike, where the coin expanded outside the normal collar during minting. These small variations can transform a 1-cent piece into a coin worth thousands of dollars overnight. Then there are the planchet errors, the kind that happen even before the design is struck. Sometimes a coin blank may be the wrong size, thickness, or even made from the wrong metal. Yes, a few 2006 D pennies have surfaced made from off-metal planchets, like dime blanks or foreign coin planchets accidentally mixed in. When struck with the Lincoln design, these coins look slightly different in color or weight, making them incredibly rare and valuable. Collectors also pay close attention to strike sharpness. A strong strike shows every tiny detail, Lincoln's cheekbone, the folds in his coat, and the fine lettering on the memorial. Weak strikes, caused by worn dies or low pressure, are common in modern coins. But when you find a crisp, mirror-like example, especially with that D mint mark shining clearly, you're looking at a potential treasure. Now, let's talk about a lustrous that bright, coppery glow that makes a penny shine like new. Most 2006 D pennies have lost this sheen due to handling or oxidation, but a few have been preserved in airtight holders, never touched by human hands. These are the red grade coins, labeled by professional grading services as RD, red, which is the highest color grade possible for copper coins. Below that, you'll find RB, red-brown, and IBN, brown. But it's those vivid red examples that collectors chase the hardest. Another reason collectors treasure the 2006 D penny is that it marks one of the final full years of the Blatt Lincoln Memorial Reverse design. Before the Mint switched to a new series in 2009 celebrating Lincoln's life. This makes the 2006 D coin part of the last generation of memorial pennies, a closing chapter in a 50-year American tradition. It represents nostalgia, history, and the end of an era, all in one tiny piece of metal. The market for error coins has exploded in recent years. With social media and online marketplaces, collectors are now sharing discoveries faster than ever. A once-overlooked 2006 D penny with a visible die crack or doubling can suddenly trend overnight, with buyers offering thousands for the right piece. People who never thought twice about their pocket change are now examining every coin under bright lights and magnifying glasses. It's not just about profit, it's about the thrill of discovery. Finding one of these rare coins feels like uncovering buried treasure in your own home. Each penny has a story, a fingerprint of the machinery that created it, and a unique place in U.S. minting history. If you want to check your 2006 D penny, start with a magnifier. Look closely at the 2006 date and the word Liberty. If you see even the slightest doubling or shadowing, set that coin aside. Check the mint mark. If the D looks thicker, tilted, or doubled, you could be staring at a valuable repunched mint mark. Finally, examine the edges. A clean, strong rim indicates a better strike, while imperfections might signal an error worth investigating. And remember, the most pristine examples, those still in MS68 or MS6090 condition, with brilliant red color and no flaws, are exceedingly rare. Graded and certified by experts, these coins can command shocking prices at major sales. So what's the potential payoff for this small copper coin that most people overlook? Believe it or not, the finest known examples of the 2006 DUSA 1-cent coin, especially those with flawless surfaces or unique mint errors, have been valued as high as 85 Dwarfhorse. That's right, a single penny, a coin worth 1 cent at face value, could hold a 5-figure fortune depending on its condition and rarity. So next time you come across a 2006 D penny, don't ignore it. Examine it. Treasure it. Because in that tiny coin, you might just be holding the key to an incredible piece of American history, and possibly a life-changing surprise hiding in plain sight.